Meeting called to order. It is 5:30, and it's always nice to look out and see a room full of people, so I'd like to welcome everyone to the Tifton City Council meeting on this Monday evening with nice smiling faces. In case you would like to follow along with an agenda, there are agendas on the podium in the back, so feel free to pick one up. We'll go through some business items first, and then we'll have citizen input. This is the time that any of our citizens can address the council or our city management and ask questions or provide information of anything we might need to be aware. So if you would like to be involved in citizen input, we just do ask that you sign in. So over the course of the next few minutes, anyone who'd like to address the council can do that. We've called the meeting to order, and I have asked Councilman Johnny Terrell to lead us in our prayer, and then Councilman Sales is going to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I'll turn it over to Johnny.
Our Father in heaven, we come again to thank you, Father. Thank you for this beautiful day, and to thank you for all that's going as well as it is. Father, we just ask that you will come in this meeting and bless everyone that's attendance here. And look over our patrons overseas, our veterans, keep them safe, Father. And keep America safe, Father. But Master, we just thank you for this time. And in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Johnny.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Johnny. Thank you, Frank. All right, at this time, we will take a motion for an approval of the council agenda.
Mayor?
Yes.
If we could, item number 5 under the ordinances, that's related to the new alcohol legislation that's coming into effect July 1.
Right.
There's still some more work that we need to do on that ordinance based on the legislation.
Okay.
So I'd ask if the council would remove that from the agenda.
All right. So we have a request to remove item number 5 under the ordinances category. Any other changes? Take a motion to. Okay, we have a motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the agenda, removing item number 5. Any discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you. At this point in time, I would like to recognize some of our visitors. I see Kelly Schonecker in the room. I'd like to ask Kelly to come forward. Are any of your other board members with you today? Just you. Well, we got the best of the best, so that's fine. I've recently had the opportunity to participate in the pinwheel ceremony that took place in front of the all-purpose building at the rec department where our pool is, and the, what would you want to come this way? Walk this way. Okay. But we had the opportunity to participate in the pinwheel ceremony, and it was an honor to be there that day to represent the citizens of Tifton. We also had Grady Thompson, our county commission chair, and several other people were there. But it was also a very sad day because the pinwheel ceremony is a ceremony that identifies the victims of neglect and child abuse in this community. And that day there were 605 pinwheels that we saw, which represented 605 lives that have been changed. And without the hard work of our wonderful friends who do so much to bring us to awareness for this sad part of our community, it's unfortunately something that we cannot ignore. The hope, I think, one day is that we have no flags, and I know that that's high to strive to that, but without the work that you and your commission do with regard to making us aware and letting us know how we can impact those lives and having us tell someone when we suspect there's something going wrong or we see something going wrong. So we wanted to honor you and thank you. And in doing so, I'm going to read this proclamation, and I would like for you to address the audience of the council and let us know what we can do to help you. The proclamation says, whereas the city of Tifton prides itself on giving back to the community, contributing to the quality of life among our citizens, and whereas the Tifton County Council on Child Abuse has organized a public awareness campaign to focus on awareness and prevention activities and services necessary to eliminate child abuse as part of the National Observance of Child Abuse Prevention and Awareness Month, and whereas more than 602 children in Tift County suffered from some form of abuse or neglect in 2015, And whereas through a national effort, Tift County citizens are encouraged to join together to raise awareness throughout the month of April for those children who have fallen victim to abuse and neglect, giving those abused and neglected children a chance for a safe and positive future. Now therefore, I, Julie Smith, Mayor of the City of Tifton, on behalf of the City Council, do hereby proclaim April 2016 as Child Abuse Prevention and Awareness Month in the City of Tifton, and in doing so, encourage all citizens to join in a national effort to raise awareness and help prevent child abuse and neglect, in witness whereof I have hereunto set my hand and caused the seal of the City of Tifton to be affixed this 4th day of April 2016. Let me present this to you. Thank you, Kelly, and I'll set this here for you, and I would like for you to share what the work that you do, so that we can be aware of what you're
Well, I am the president of the Tift County Council on Child Abuse. And we are a nonprofit agency, a group of volunteers that come together because we are all very concerned with child abuse in our community. We do prevention and education primarily. We go to different exhibits in town. We provide pamphlets. We do all of our own fundraising so that we can continue to, provide what we need to the community. Ultimately, our goal, of course, is to get the number of pinwheels down. It would be nice if it were 0. I doubt that would ever happen, but it would be lovely if it did. And, the DFACS didn't have any employees, and I didn't do this as a volunteer. So, but one of the things that we do with the council is we sell these blue ribbons. It's one of our fundraisers, our biggest one of the year. And we ask businesses and homeowners to please purchase the blue ribbon from us to help support our efforts to, get rid of child abuse. I don't know if anybody knows the story, but the blue ribbon was actually started by a grandmother who watched her grandson die at the hands of her daughter and her boyfriend. He was beaten so badly. And she started by putting little blue ribbons on the antennas of her car. And the reason she picked blue was to signify the bruises. So we ask everybody, to keep these, put these out, on where people can see them for the month of April. And we also ask, if you want to, keep them out all year, because child abuse doesn't happen just in April. And child abuse prevention doesn't happen, just one small part of the year. Child abuse happens all year long. So I've got some blue ribbons with me. So if anybody would like to purchase one for their mailbox, their front door, their pillar, whatever, I'd be very happy to sell you one. For $20, they come with a tax deductible receipt, and we would be forever grateful.
Well, I can tell you, I would be honored to purchase one on behalf of the City of Tifton.
Okay, thank you.
And also for my business. So,
Okay.
So I'll take 2.
Okay, great.
And, sadly, child abuse, what's that? Oh, I need 3, Louise.
One at home.
Sadly, child abuse crosses all economic backgrounds, all races, all everything.
It doesn't leave anybody out.
No, it doesn't. So thank you again on behalf of the city for the efforts and the work that you do, because it does make a difference, and it really, it's like I said, it's a sad thing that we have to recognize and deal with, but it's a reality of living in a community where people care. So.
Well, and it's not just one entity's or one agency's problem. It's everybody's problem. It affects all of us.
Those children are our future.
Well, exactly. They are our future. So, we want the best for them.
Thank you. Take 3.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
You can have this one.
Okay. We will put this one on the front of City Hall.
Kelly, how can we get in touch with you to buy a ribbon?
Does anybody know my phone number? Robbie just called me at home, but
You know where I am. Just give me a call. I like-
382-5172.
there you go.
What is
There,
it?
yeah.
382-5172.
I can never remember that number. I don't know why.
Okay, well, we're gonna keep this one.
Okay, wonderful,
And then
wonderful.
I will take 2 more to make Miss Louise happy.
Okay.
And then I will get with you and give you some money.
Okay,
So just
great.
put that on.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you very much for doing that. All right. Our next item of business, well, I should have just stayed downstairs, down front. What was I thinking? We always are glad to see people volunteer and give up their time and efforts and energy for this community. And so now it is my privilege to ask Miss Sandy Newman, who is our new Keep Tift Beautiful board member, as soon as we get to swearing her in, to come forward. And as Larry says, we have here front and center. Thank you so much for volunteering. There are many commissions and boards and councils and organizations that work with the city of Tifton, and they're volunteer-based, and they are representative of our citizenry. And so we just want to say thank you for doing this. These groups do wonderful work, particularly Keep Tift Beautiful. They do some great things for this community. I'm very proud of them, very proud of you for serving. So at this time, I'm going to swear you in. And the good news is I will read all of this, and then at the end ask you if you affirm, and you will raise your right hand and say, I do affirm, or I do, or I, yes. All right. You ready?
I am.
All right. Okay, this is what you will be swearing to. I do solemnly swear or affirm that I will faithfully and impartially perform the duties as a member of the Keep Tift Beautiful Board of this city, and that I will support and defend the Charter of the City of Tifton, as well as the Constitution and laws of the state of Georgia and of the United States of America. I shall attend all meetings of the body to which I have been appointed unless providentially hindered. I shall abide by the standards for conflicts of interests adopted by the City Council and the rules of disclosure applicable hereto. Unless disqualified by standards for conflicts of interest, I shall actively participate in all decisions of the body to which I have been appointed. I shall attend at city expense any training mandated by the state of Georgia. I shall also attend as scheduled any special training arranged by the city of Tifton. Raise your hand. Do you hereby affirm? I do. Well, congratulations. Houston, would you like to say anything on behalf of the KTV board? Of any?
Congratulations.
Thank you so much, Sam. We appreciate that. All right, at this point in time, we have some special guests that we would like to recognize. And I guess Mr. Reiner is going to go first since he's standing up. We'll call on City Manager Larry Reiner to introduce some of our guests.
Well, thank you there, Madam Mayor.
You're welcome.
This is a short one. This is Michael Brogdon. He's our new theater director, and he hails from Valdosta, Georgia, where he was a volunteer, and he can tell you more about that in community theater. So, Michael, it's all yours.
Let's see how well you can act.
Didn't really prepare anything, but I can't think of any other word than tickled. I'm just tickled to start this job.
Wonderful.
I love the theater. I love this community. I was actually born here. I'm from Tifton originally, and to get the chance to work with the two together, I'm tickled.
Wonderful. Well, welcome aboard. We're very happy to have you and look forward to wonderful things. And our TIFF Theater is a gem for our downtown and our community. So thank you for coming to help us out. And I'll let, if the council has any comments or questions or suggestions, we're just looking forward to all of your expertise. So welcome.
Thank
Glad
you.
to have you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right. Well, I'm going to head back over to the Children's Theater rehearsal.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
And this next group of people need no introduction, but I will bring Dan Grossell here. He has news for us. Come on, Dan.
I do.
Our ESG, and then I'll let you use your plan.
I'll do that. Madam Mayor, City Council, I want to thank y'all for giving us a few minutes here. A bit of good news is that we just last week presented the city with their annual rebate check for $324,000.
Thank you.
Bringing to the total over 3 years, and that check was for an 8-month period. It wasn't for a full year, bringing us to close to 1.2 million in unspent funds over the last little less than 3 years. So that's pretty exciting news. I didn't bring the big check. I walked out without that today, but
That's all right. As long as the little one went in the bank, that's all.
Well, that's what I asked Larry. I said, "You had the check wrong." He said, "Man, that went in the bank," and then I got it. But the bigger news is I'd like to introduce a couple people, but we've got a really important person here that we've had the opportunity to recruit and bring to Tifton to add to our management team, and that's Pete Brzezinski. Pete comes to us, he's got a very diverse background. I've had a chance to work hand in hand with Pete for over 10 years. My first experience working with Pete was I worked for Pete as he was the city manager in Waycross. He came to Waycross though as a public works director down in Valdosta. He took the job as city manager, so he's got a diverse background and understanding. Prior to that, he had retired from the Army, U.S. Army, so he's got a very structured thought process, which is good in our business, as you can imagine, keeping everything going. But also when he left Waycross, he took a job with Republic Waste, so he brings to us a lot of solid waste experience as well. And then he took a job with the City of Commerce. And so we had the opportunity to recruit Pete and bring him on the team. He's going to be working with Scott. Scott's actually taking on some additional challenges within the organization. Scott's still going to be here. But Scott's taking on some additional challenges. He's on his way back here now. I thought maybe he'd make it by the time of the meeting. So we're excited to have Pete on the team. Pete brings just a wealth of experience and skills and capabilities to the team. And it's the time is a really good time to get someone with Pete's background on the team, because we've got a lot of really talented guys that have really taken the bull by the horns. I can't begin to mention how many additional certifications and how many people that have taken advantage of the training and career type opportunities there at the project. And so we've got a lot of growth there. Along with Pete tonight, he didn't know he was coming to a city council meeting tonight, but Neil Counts is actually one of our area managers from up around Atlanta. He's an engineer, and he was in town working with Pete on a few things. And then no introduction is probably needed for Trey. As y'all know, Trey is our assistant manager here, and he's taken on a lot of the beautification type projects. Trey's background and training is he's a landscape architect as well. So, Pete,
Sure. Yeah. Mayor, Council, it's a pleasure to be here and carry out a mission that I firmly believe in through ESG. And I see it as a public-private partnership, an extension of the government and of the city manager's office, and working with Larry on taking Tifton to the next level with beautification or improvements in every facet. It's going to be an exciting time. There's a lot of great things happening here. I'm real excited to be part of that, and I appreciate the opportunity to serve you and the citizens of Tifton. So it's a great time for us, and I'm looking forward to meet each and every one of you and spending some time and learning more about Tifton and how we could improve overall services. And glad to be here.
That's one of the things, and the reason Neil's here is that we're in the process of refining a work plan, of which we're going to be getting with Larry and identifying areas that, we've come a long ways in the last couple of years, but there's always a lot of room for improvement. And so we're going to be developing a work plan, and this work plan is going to be a citywide work plan. And so there'll be a chance for everybody in the group to participate in that, and it helps us figure out what are the priorities. I mean, we're out here dealing with issues and challenges every day, but we can't see the things that you guys see, and we don't get the customer calls that you guys get. And so we want to make sure our work groups are working in a way that we're meeting all the needs of the entire city across that. And so that's going to be an effort over the next month or so that we're going to be working on that work plan, and that'll kind of give us a roadmap that obviously it'll help us all work more efficiently. So
That's very exciting, because each district that's represented here tonight with these wonderful councilmen have issues and challenges that
Absolutely.
Some are unique to that particular district, some
Sure.
are citywide.
Mm-hmm.
So the work that ESG has done for us has been, I think I can speak for all four gentlemen, has just been incredible.
Thank you.
The attention to detail, the customer service, the responsiveness. So we're very excited and thrilled, Pete, to have you as part of the team, and certainly to continue that relationship with ESG. That's such a good relationship.
thank you.
So,
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Latasha, would you mind, I'm going to kind of put you on the spot with Latasha with the Gazette. I don't know if you would want to spend some time with Pete and with Dan while they're here, and Neil to maybe get some, and Trey even too. And Trey, speaking of beautification, can you do something? Larry Reiner, can you do something? No. Anyway, can you maybe spend some time with them? I'm sorry, I got tickled. To spend some time with them to sort of find out about that ESG relationship and what that role involves. I think that our citizens would be very interested in hearing about that. So I'd hate to put you on the spot, but just if you could do that.
We did this, what was it, Dan and Scott, when you first came in?
When we first transitioned
Yeah.
Public Works, we
Yeah.
did it,
It's-
it's time for an update.
Yeah, because there's been a lot that's happened, a lot of things have been accomplished, and like I said, we've got some neat projects on the horizon, so I think that would be, if you have time, Latasha, just whenever you can, maybe meet with them and get that information, that would be good. Thank you. The other thing that, we've got some other guests, but before we move on to introducing our next guest, I'd like to take just a moment and recognize Miss Jessica Jones. Jessica has been the executive assistant for the city manager and the mayor, and she has done a phenomenal job. Very proud of the work that she's done, and she now is in her new role as the city clerk since Rona has retired. So we want to say congratulations and welcome to your new position.
Good luck.
And Ms. Beth, yes. Has the council been introduced to Becky?
No.
Well, would you like to do that?
I can do that. Come on up, Miss Becky. You didn't know you was gonna make a speech tonight, did you? I bet you can. This is Becky Moore. She is the new executive assistant for the city manager and the mayor. And she is, just a bundle of joy.
She's
Just
hit the ground
bubbling
running.
with enthusiasm. She's so confused, she doesn't know. Go ahead, get your job.
That's funny.
But anyhow, she has been on board for what, a week and a half now, 2 weeks? 2 weeks, and she just fell right in Jessica's shoes, and she's doing a great job.
And those are high heels too, I've seen those. Well, we are excited to have you, Becky, on board, and you'll be working with all of these folks, and like I said, you've hit the ground running, and we're excited about what you bring to the table, and it's just good to have you involved with us, and again, congratulations on your new position, so welcome. At this time, I would like to recognize a special guest. She's sitting behind the pole, so I can't really see her very well, but I'd like to introduce Miss Beth English. Beth is with Easter Seals, and Beth and I also have the privilege of working together on the GMA, Georgia Municipal Association Board of Directors, and she's very involved in her home community, but she's here to talk about Easter Seals. So Beth, I'll turn everything over to you and let you share that information.
Thank you, Mayor, members of council. It's a delight to be with you tonight. This is my hometown where I grew up, and I love being a part of anything Tifton County. Just a couple of things. First of all, even though Easter Seals is a private, nonprofit charitable organization, I'm not here to ask for money, so everybody can just relax. I'm a 60-year-old private nonprofit that works with over 3,000 children and adults with disabilities each year. We have a number of programs in 60 different counties. So I've tried to sort of touch bases with our city councils in the area and talk about two things. One, if you're like me, when you go to the grocery store, or you go to whatever your favorite store is, or you go to church, somebody's going to grab you and they're going to ask you to help solve the problem. They're going to say, I know somebody who needs X, Y, Z. So I want you to consider Easter Seals to be a part of your toolkit. We do provide a variety of services, and in the little brochure with dots all over it, it talks about all of those. We have a residential program, community residential, for individuals who need supervised apartments or group homes. We have a day program for young adults that leave the special ed program and need something to do during the day. One of the programs that we have that you can't see, that's the largest program, is called our Family Support Program. And that program provides financial assistance to families who have children with disabilities, adults as well, with disabilities that can provide a lot of assistance. All of you know, many people have to travel for specialized medical appointments, and this helps reimburse travel to medical appointments. So it's a great service for families, and it's a very individualized program. We have a vocational program that puts people to work in this community, and the final one is a statewide program that Easter Seals provides all over the state of Georgia. It's called Champions for Children, and this program is designed for children who do not qualify for Medicaid, and they have been denied the Katie Beckett waiver, which is a waiver to the regular Medicaid income regulations. So these are typically are children who are in working class, middle class families that can't find help with any government in it. And so this program actually provides financial assistance on an annual basis to these children. Most of the time it's medical therapies. The bulk of the children that we serve have autism. So that, is something many times those are the kids that fall between the cracks. And so I wanted you to know about that. The last thing I want to talk briefly about is on your other handout. Yes, we are a human service agency, and yes, we're a charitable organization, but we're also partnered with you in economic development. We provide jobs in the community, and we bring right around almost $400,000 in state and federal dollars to Tift County that would not otherwise be here through the different programs that we serve. We're continuing to grow. We're continuing to listen to our citizens in our various communities and develop programs and services that families need, and so we're able to do a lot of different things. So that is my quick spiel on what we're doing in Tifton. Having a list of our board members on there, be happy to answer any questions, and please again feel free to use us as a resource as you help your constituents find solutions to the problems that they face on a daily basis.
Thank you,
Thank you so
Dan.
much.
Do you want to recognize, I know some of your board members are here
Dave
this
Hanson
evening.
was here, and Louise, we adopted her, so I'm delighted to have her. They didn't really remember I was coming, so it was serendipitous. Just like, seeing my fellow graduate from
Oh, yes.
class of 71, Larry Ryan.
Yes, you never know who you're going to run into. Well, thank you so much, and
Thank you
thank you
all.
for what you do. Again, it's we're so fortunate in this community to have the resources like the Child Abuse Council and Easter Seals, and there's so many groups that are looking out for people, and that's just, it's heartwarming, and we are to be very thankful for that and for those efforts, and I know many of your board members, and they're super people and very selfless and very caring people, so you've got a wonderful board of directors that help you with this project.
Thank
Does
you.
anyone have any questions of Beth while she's here? Any comments? Just thank you for what you do. We
Well, thank
appreciate
you all for the
that.
opportunity to be here tonight. It's
Thank
good to see
you.
everyone.
Okay, thank you, Beth. Okay, at this point in time, following our agenda, we have our citizens' input. Is there anybody who would like to address the council? Any comments, questions, ideas, concerns? Seeing none? Okay, well, let's move forward. Our next item is the approval of the minutes, and we have several. We've had several meetings recently, and so you have received those in your packets that were emailed out. And at this point in time, we will entertain a motion to approve. Can we take all of those together, Larry, or do you want to take those individually?
Typically, we just take them all together.
Okay.
I do see one correction.
Okay.
On the March 30th special called meeting, I was absent. I was out of town for that meeting.
Okay. Got that, Jessica?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Pending, does anyone see anything else we need to change? Pending that change, does anyone want to make the motion to approve the minutes?
So moved.
Okay, Frank has made the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
We got three of them, I
Motion and
think.
Take credit for it.
You know,
Okay.
Okay. All right.
I'm
So
generous.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, very good. The next items on our agenda are our consent agenda, and these are items that we have discussed thoroughly in our workshop. As you know, our workshop on the third Thursday of each month, we don't actually vote, we just discuss. And so all these items 2, 3, and 4, have been discussed, and we've reviewed those with the appropriate departments within the city. If you'd like, we can take those items collectively and approve those or disapprove or whatever you'd like to do. So I'll take a motion.
Mayor, if I may.
Yes.
Since I was absent for personal reasons on the last workshop, can we,
Would you like to take
line
an
item
individual?
4? Yeah, line item 4. I mean, we can do 2 and 3. I just want to talk about 4. Just
Sure,
want
we can-
Rob
we
or
can-
somebody to explain that to me.
We can absolutely do that. Would you like to make a motion to approve items 2 and 3?
So moved.
Second.
So we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion on items 2 and 3 only? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
None opposed? All right, we'll take item 4 independently and separately from the consent agenda. And Wes, if you'd like to, I guess, would you like to address Rob his questions or
Well,
explain?
Rob, let me just kind of briefly go over that.
Sure. Basically, when we adopted this ordinance back in 2014, we swapped some stuff from environmental, into another section. When I drafted up the ordinance, basically, as I was going through it, it got misnumbered, so that when it got to Unicode corrected the numbering system, so it's correct in Unicode.
Right.
But all this ordinance does is just renumber the sections,
Okay.
so they're in accordance with what they need to be.
Okay, all right.
Does that make sense?
That's
Clear
that's
on that?
fine. I mean,
Okay.
that's how I read it, but I just wanted to make sure. That's what,
It's always good to ask questions.
that's exactly right.
Okay. We will take a motion to approve item number 4.
I so move.
All right, Jack, we have a second?
Second.
We have a second by Franks. We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
So that's approved, and we have removed item number 5 from the agenda, so that we will not discuss this evening. Item number 6 is a resolution providing for the new alcoholic beverage license for the Dog House located at 339 Commerce Way. And Jessica, do you have any comments to add on
Yes,
that?
they originally turned in their application at the beginning of March, but they had a issue with their fingerprints. First time they did them, they did not come back from the state, the
Okay.
federal, so they had to resubmit those. We got those in last week, so I wanted to push it through because they have been waiting for a while. And she had a clean record, there were no findings, so.
Okay. And
really-
it's been approved by the appropriate city
Yes.
representatives, okay. All right, so I will take a motion regarding the resolution providing for the alcoholic beverage license for the Dog House.
I move.
Okay, thank you, Jack.
I second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Okay, no discussion. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All right, item number 6 is done. Other business is item number, actually, our numbering system's wrong, but that's okay. Acceptance
That's a
of.
scrivener's error.
That's a scrivener's error. Here's a perfect
That
example.
happens to everybody.
It happens all across the board. All right, acceptance for the bid of the surplus property that we have at 811 North Central. Larry, do you or Rob want to address that?
Actually, I'm gonna let Jessica talk about
Okay.
it. The bid actually came in less than the appraisal was, but under the circumstances and the location of that particular property, staff recommendation is to accept the low bid. And Rob, you talked about the floodplain issues associated with that deed.
Yeah, basically, y'all might recall in the settlement of the CVS case that we had some years back, we acquired this property because of the flooding issues. And it is in the floodplain. My understanding is that the purchaser is actually an appraiser. So he's well acquainted with the property, but when we prepare the deed, we make sure that's it's readily apparent that
Full
what is
disclosure,
buying.
yeah.
So as Larry said, I think this is the second time that we bid this out. And so I agree with Larry that this appears to be the most we're gonna be able to get for that property.
Actually, it's not bad.
It's not a bad price.
Question, was the higher
can't
bidder,
buy
huh?
You can't buy it.
No, I don't want to. Does, is the high bidder, was he the appraiser on
No.
this property?
No.
He was not?
No.
Okay.
Okay, Ms. Jones.
Well, I think y'all explained it the first time we bid this out. Y'all remember we sold one of the pieces of property we acquired to Mr. Webster. And the first time it was bid, the highest bid was $35,000. Last month when we opened bids, this bid came in at $55,000 and the appraised value is $68,000. So we're pretty close. This is the second time we've done it. I believe, no, we may have done it 3 times. And last time we didn't get any bids. That was when we did the bids for the property on Golden Road.
Right.
With Mr. Atwater purchased that. So staff is recommending that we approve it and try to get this property back on. And it will open up some rental property also.
We still have the lots available,
Which is-
correct?
There are some vacant lots that we have not gotten bids on.
Right.
Yeah, the rest of those that are listed, yeah, the
Right.
South Central Avenue, we've ran those every time. and,
Right, okay.
Have not been able to sell
No
those.
bidders,
What
okay.
are those lots on, do you know, Larry?
That's commercial.
Commercial lot?
Besides Golden Road would probably be,
Yeah, general business. This, Golden Road's not, the one on South Central's general business. Golden Road is actually in the county.
It's probably AU, I would think.
It's
How did-
probably industrial.
Oh, is it industrial?
Yeah, it's right next to the park south of it, can't remember the name of it.
How did we acquire?
That's where the Humane Society used to be.
Okay.
And that's when the city of Tifton had the Humane Society.
Okay.
I'm sure Mr. Wilmot can give you a full lowdown on that project. We don't need it all.
Not necessarily.
Okay.
Would ask that in your motion that you authorize the city manager to execute all necessary documents to sell that property. If you're so.
All right. We have the floor open for a motion if you so desire.
I so move.
And your motion includes accepting this bid and authorizing the city manager?
All of the above.
All of the above. We have a motion?
Oh, second.
Second, so Johnny is seconded. Any further discussion? Any other questions?
I rode by and looked at the property the other night, just because I was concerned the 68 versus 55. And 55 looks like a fair
Yeah.
price for that, so. And Paul buys these properties and fixes them himself and rents them. I mean, that's what he does, so.
Yeah. Okay. Any other comments, questions? All right, seeing none, I will call for a vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying, did you have a question? Oh, okay, not sure. Okay. All those signify, that are in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
None opposed. All right, our next item is rejection of the bid received for the paving at the Chula Fire Station. We will be discussing that.
I'm the fire chief, so I'll start off with it, let ESG finish it up. Basically, items 7 and 8, both came in, was they over budget? Yeah, but 7 and 8 were way over budget. So, I don't have the numbers for you, have them?
There's also one bidder only, that's the primary reason.
So,
One bidder only, and then what our numbers were based off of was GDOT numbers. With GDOT, we had it priced to be well with under, it was around 1.2, and what it ended up coming back at was 1.6, if I'm not mistaken.
so this is way over budget, we came for it.
Right.
So we're gonna see if we're gonna rebid the project, see if we can get some better, response this time.
Okay. May I ask a question? One of the items in the 2016 resurfacing project is high priority, as we all know.
Yes.
How is this going to impact that schedule?
It's gonna set us back at least 30 days, because we'll have to re-advertise it and rebid it.
Okay. Is there, obviously there's hope that there'll be either additional bidders or this one bidder will adjust their bid. Is there, do you think there'll be additional bidders at this
I
point?
hope so. I don't know why we didn't get more competitive bids this time, but that's, to me, it's kind of unusual
Yeah.
on a project that size that you don't have multiple bidders. So, that's probably why, I don't know.
Okay.
Well, what's the, I mean, let's take them individually, but the paving at the Chula Fire Station, we're not gonna, what are we doing, I guess?
It's Chula is out in county, and we've also grouped it with our Westover Fire Station paving. They're doing site work. The site work, I actually misspoke. It came back at $228,000, and grouping that with the Westover paving as well, we had it coming in at $170,000. Because we only had one bidder, we didn't feel that the discrepancy of some $50,000, $60,000 was appropriate. Plus, one of the line items in that site grading plan seemed a little bit high. And then obviously, speaking with the paving project and making sure we stay on track, we had one bidder there. It came drastically overpriced. We're hoping we do receive another series of contractors this time around that will provide good bids, working bids. We can always go back, choosing the council's direction, to ask the previous contractor if we do not receive other bids. But as of right now, it's just to due diligence, make sure we do it correctly, get a better price.
How are you advertising the bids, Larry?
Sir,
How are you advertising the bids?
we have to run the ad in the paper for 30 days.
Yeah, I'm wondering if we ought to run it in additional papers or
We
surrounding.
put it out all over. It's
We put it
Dodge
all
report
over.
and everything.
Okay.
So it's out there. That's why we're really kind of surprised
Yeah.
we didn't get more bidders than what we got.
Okay.
More bids.
Are we confident on that estimate, a cost of estimate that we
Yes, sir.
projected?
GDOT typically is a high estimate. They
Uh-huh.
take into a lot of different factors, and we do feel confident that that's an appropriate. We use their budget items basically to come up with those numbers. And, we are confident in that. The fact that we only had one person show up to the pre-bid on both of those items, both the fire station and LMIG, indicates that either people are extremely busy with work, or we just didn't get good response. We had another contractor actually interested in the LMIG, but they couldn't get it done in time, in the time constraints allowed, dealing with making sure we got it done while school was out of session. That was part of the reason we did not receive 2 bids on the Elmeg project.
I know the opening of the West Side Fire Station is gonna be important for our fire department, going forward, so, I mean,
Well, the West Side Fire Station is functional now. The drives for the fire trucks are all paved, they're concrete. The only area we're talking about is the parking area.
parking area.
And we have it, it's already, got crush and run down and everything, so it's just waiting for the asphalt.
Okay.
And then on the Chula Fire Station, that's part of the joint SPOS, is that correct?
That's SPOS 5 paving project, yes, that's correct.
Okay.
So on the 20th Street, the timing was the issue on the other one. Did you get a price, or they just, the timing threw it out to
They
you?
decided not to proceed. They never turned in an estimate.
Okay, well,
We
timing
had
was-
a couple of phone calls from a different contractor that was very eager to do it, but when they saw the time constraint, they said, no, we aren't able to do it in that period of time.
Is our request for that unreasonable in your opinion?
I don't know. Typically, the Board of Education, we're trying to help out the Board of
Oh,
Education.
sure, absolutely, yeah. I
But
mean,
the
we
timing-
want it to make it as smooth as possible for
Oh,
But
everybody.
the timing's gonna be off now,
Yeah.
anyway.
It may be, and we'll just have to deal with it
Yeah.
if we're gonna get it paved.
Yeah, so maybe we go back to these other people, I'd be curious to know what, you know,
Yeah, if
What their
if that
price would
was
be.
removed, yeah.
what would their price be?
Yeah.
We can find out.
It's just gonna be a mess no matter how we do it.
Well,
So-
it is. Summer, when school's out,
Yeah.
20th Street's gonna be an issue, but
Yeah.
we'll handle it.
Yeah,
We'll make it happen.
Yeah, but I'd like to know what that other would be if the timing was.
Sure.
well, the only way that we can do that is to reject what we have.
It's
So.
true. So there, yeah, thank you.
And make sure they know that the time, this next one, because they just won't even do anything.
Right.
You know, just the timing.
Would y'all like to take these one at a time, or would you like?
Yes, please.
Okay, all right, let's take the first item is the rejection of the bid for the paving at the Chula Fire Station, so I'll take a motion.
So moved.
Okay, Wes has made the motion.
Second.
2 seconds.
Second, right?
Frank has made the second.
Third.
Any further discussion regarding the paving of the Chula Fire Station? Any other questions, anything? Seeing none, I will call for the vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All right, and then our next item is rejection of the bid for the 2016 street resurfacing project.
Not so moved.
Jack has made the motion. Johnny has seconded. Any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll call for the vote. All those in favor of rejecting that bid, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Did you say aye? I didn't see
Yeah,
that.
that's aye.
Okay.
Aye.
All right. Our next item is discussion of the TAG meeting for April the 21st. And if you'll recall, well, actually, you and Frank may not recall, but we used to have meetings, the acronym TAG stands for Tift Area Government. It's meetings of the governmental bodies of the city, the county, and the cities of Tye and cities of Omega. And during that time, we would generally have a meal and sort of socialize and discuss any items that they may see as a challenge or that we may see as an opportunity, just to sort of get to know each other and share ideas and network. I talked to Mr. Reiner about the possibility of, we've tried to have some TAG meetings in the last year. I know the county has hosted one, and I believe the city of Omega hosted one. And they used to meet quarterly or twice a year. Probably don't need to meet quarterly, probably twice a year is plenty. Maybe once a year is plenty, I don't
Quite
know.
frankly, it's been so long since we've had these on a regular basis, I don't remember how. it
Okay.
used to be.
Anyway, it was something that, but in talking to former councils and commissions, it was very beneficial to have those meetings periodically. So I'd like for Tifton to host our 2016 first meeting on April the 21st. That is our workshop evening, and what we talked about was possibly just having something here at council chambers and inviting the county commission and the other city councils from the other cities to join us for a meal that evening. So just wanted to throw that out for discussion. Do you have anything you want to add, or?
Sounds good.
So, what are y'all's thoughts?
I think it's a good idea.
Yeah, I think so too. I think we need to share resources as often as we can. I think we need to hear their concerns and their ideas, and I think we'll find that our challenges aren't that different from city to city and city to county. So, if you all are in favor of that, we don't need any kind of motion or anything to move forward. We'll just move forward and details to follow. Any other questions on that, or discussion, suggestions, ideas? Our next item is our board report, and Jessica, I believe you have that for us.
I do. I do not remember if Miss Rona contacted these people. The only person I could got in contact with last week was Joseph LaForce, and he said at this time he didn't know if he wanted to serve on the tree board. I didn't get in touch with Miss Jeannie Rigdon or Mark Van Brackle, so I don't know if y'all have talked to them or you remember her saying something last time.
I was thinking, I could be incorrect, but I was thinking that Jeannie was willing to continue serving. I could be wrong on that, but I thought that Jeannie Rigdon, Steve Rigdon's wife, she's been a great member of the tree board. Joe LaForest has too, and anybody whose name is LaForest should be on the tree board in my opinion. But
So I
they
guess he'll
are
just let
both
us know
very good
until
board
then.
members. So
I guess until he decides that seat will be vacant, and
Okay.
he'll have to come back.
Well, can you contact Jeannie? Would you mind contacting her to see if she would be interested in serving?
Yeah, I can try her again.
Okay. Or, and if she has any suggestions on any other potential volunteers that might want to serve on that board, or if you all have any volunteers that you're aware of that, any names
For the tree board?
for the tree board, yeah.
I'll call.
Okay, that'd be good. I think it means a lot when we encourage people or ask someone to volunteer to help, and we certainly need that help. So yeah, that would be good, Johnny. That'd be great. And anybody that has neighbors or folks who might be interested in that particular board. And then the Tifton Housing Authority.
I didn't get in touch with either one of those in
Okay.
either
Okay.
spots.
Well, we can address that at the workshop and deal with that at that point in time. All right. Well, I am at the end of my agenda. I don't see any other items. Any other comments? If not, I will declare this meeting adjourned. Thank you, everybody, for coming this evening.